What's up, good people? It's Kenyon and welcome to the channel. Listen, if you know me, you know that Eric Thomas is one of my favorite motivational speakers. When I need to feel motivated, inspired, Eric Thomas to me is the motivator's motivator. We all have these times in our lives when we just need to get it done. And for me, whenever I feel stuck, whenever I'm not progressing as much as I need to, if you're procrastinating, if you know there's something that you want to get to, you know there's something that you want to do, maybe you're scared, maybe you're just not just getting to it the way you need to get to it, this is what I listen to. So I am going to put the link to the full video in the description. I'll also put Eric Thomas' Instagram so you can stay up on all the great things that ET is doing. Do me a favor, please like, subscribe, and share this video as I grow the channel to inspire and motivate you. And enjoy this clip. This is Evolution.
And all I can think about is, wow, if I get this PhD, like I can just like change the zeros. Like I just remember thinking like there were doors that were closed to me in the United States of America, right? Because of the nationality that I come from or the part of town that I come from. And I specifically remember people picking other people over me for speaking engagements that weren't as good as I was. I remember people using the excuse of you're not qualified enough. And I remember the PhD, we're gonna solve all of that. Like no more ET ain't qualified, no more like we're gonna pick this bird over this bird. Like no, this PhD is going to open doors for me that were once closed, which means it's gonna open doors for my daughter, which means it's gonna open doors for my wife, which means it's gonna open doors for my mother, which means it's gonna open doors for CJ, which means it's gonna open doors for Carl. And so every day when I woke up, I remembered the people that this degree would affect. And so the days I did not feel like studying, the days I did not feel like writing, the days I wanted to sleep on the plane, I thought about CJ and his family. I thought about Carl and his family. And I said, E.T., keep going. Listen to me very closely. The reason why you stop and start, and you stop and you start, and you stop and you start, is because the goal is not meaningful enough. There's something about the goal that if you quit, it's not going to hurt nobody. If you quit, it's not going to change nothing. If you quit, it's not that deep. Look, this is what I need you to do. So immediately when I left that house and I made up in my mind that I was going to get the PhD, I remember immediately doing a TGIM saying, all right, it's over. It's over. A year from now, I will be Dr. Thomas. And I just didn't speak it into the atmosphere. I spoke it to people who will hold me accountable. Write it down. Write it down. Who's going to hold you accountable? Who's going to hold you accountable? Who's that person? Who's that person? And some of you have been a part of the real estate program. Some of you just come to hear me. When you leave, I need you to call that person, that guy, that young lady, that mother or that father. Like, I need you to call that person and say, yo, I got to do these 3 things before this month and before, yep. And this is who I'm doing it for, and this is why I'm. So just somebody real quick over here, because we gotta make this real. Somebody over here real quick, we gotta make this real. Somebody tell me who's that person you're calling over here. Who's that person you're calling? Who's that person that on this side, that person who's gonna hold you accountable? Who's that person? You've identified that person. I need you to raise your hand for me. Tell me who that person is. Yes, sir, who's that person? Good. Look, I need you to hear me. Here's the last step and we move it forward. The last step is I need you to identify that person. And I identified that person. After I went on YouTube and said, hey, guys, I'm marching. Matter of fact, I turned it into an event. Listen to me very closely. I rented out a space. I put the deposit down. I tasted the food, like we did a tasting. I decided what food we were going to eat. The linen, we had to decide what linen. This is 8 months before I even graduated. Never forget, one of the professors came to me and said, E.T., there's a lot of paperwork to fill out. We got about 2 or 3 months left, and I'm just going to be honest with you. You waited on some things because you weren't in school, and now you're back, but I just don't think you're going to be able to make it happen. And I laughed. I chuckled. She said, no, I'm serious. There's a format, and there's a way, and there's some, and you didn't, and it takes this month for this long, 30 days for this, 6 weeks for that, and you just didn't put your paperwork in time. And I said, ma'am, I'm sorry, but you don't get it. I called my grandma and told my grandma I was graduating. Like, no, I'm being serious. Like, I called my grandma, and my grandma said, baby, you know I'm on a fixed income. So if I buy this ticket, grandma can't get her money back. I said, ma'am, I told my grandma that I was graduating, and my grandma already called her hairstylist and told her how she wanted her hair to look. Grandma went out and bought a dress. My grandma bought a dress for the graduation. And you got to hear what I'm saying, because you're listening to me, but you're not listening to me. Listen to what I'm trying to tell y'all. I'm being real with y'all. My biological father wasn't in my life. Hear what I'm saying? My mother hid from me who my biological father was, yet my grandmother's always been in my life. That don't go together. My grandmother said to my mother, if you want to hide the identity of his father, that's cool, but you can't take my grandson from me. And so ever since I've been a kid, my grandma been to everything. She's never missed anything. And when my grandma called, she said, you better make sure you graduate, baby, because I'm coming. And so what I'm trying to tell you is, I didn't get the degree to get the degree. I got the degree because I called my grandma. I'm trying to tell you the reason why you're not doing it is not because you don't have what it takes to do it, not because you don't have the ability to do it, but whatever it is you say you're going to do, the meaning is not strong enough. Somehow the meaning is not strong enough. You've not put enough value in it. You don't have enough skin in it. You played around with it so much that you don't have nothing to lose if you don't do it. What I'm telling you is you got to create the type of scenarios, not the goal, the type of scenarios that if it doesn't work, you lose everything. And because you cannot lose everything, you got to make it happen.